What's the most insane thing you overlooked in a relationship just because you were desperate for love? I was in a relationship with my ex for 2 years, and looking back now, I can't believe I stayed with him for that long. Honestly, he was a living, breathing red flag. Just a month into dating, he told me that if I didn't lose my virginity to him, he'd hook up with my best friend instead. At first, I thought he was joking, so I laughed it off, but he insisted he meant it and was ready to call her up right then. This was my first relationship, and I was too naive to realize that this wasn't normal. I also ignored the warning signs because he used to be so charming. When we were just getting to know each other, he'd bring me flowers, compliment me, and take me out on dates. Sure, I might have been foolish, but I assumed he was acting out because of some misguided desire, so I eventually gave in and slept with him even though I wasn't ready. He tried to make it seem special by complimenting me throughout, telling me how beautiful I was and how he couldn't get enough of me. It made me feel valued at the time. But just a week later, I found out he had hooked up with my best friend anyway. When I confronted him, he brushed it off, saying, "I'm just a guy, what did you expect?" He even claimed that if I had satisfied him the first time, he wouldn't have needed to call her up. I felt so angry and betrayed, but that anger melted away when he said going to her was a mistake because she wasn't as attractive as I was. In an instant, he had me wrapped around his finger again. As soon as he complimented my looks, I forgot why I was mad and let him twist the narrative. I should explain why this had such an impact on me. I'd always been insecure and had spent my life being called ugly by my family, friends, and even boys at school. I thought they were right. Every morning, I'd look in the mirror and hate what I saw, a face that I wasn't proud of, with deep under-eye circles, dry patches, and acne-covered cheeks. It felt gross, and no amount of makeup could hide it. So, you can imagine how much it meant to have someone, anyone, call me beautiful. He used to say that he found me attractive despite my flaws and that no one else would ever love me like he did. I believed him completely, so I let him get away with things like cheating with my best friend and spending my money on concert tickets without asking. He said it was worth it because he'd be in the pit, whatever that meant. When I got upset, he told me I shouldn't be because, "You don't look pretty when you're mad." And somehow, I let it slide. The final straw came a month later when I went for a walk to clear my mind. When I got back, he was furious, demanding to know why I'd left without his permission. I had no idea what he was talking about, and instead of answering me, he dragged me to our bedroom closet and locked me in. I pounded on the door, begging him to let me out, but he left me there for a whole day. It gets worse. While I was trapped inside, he brought another girl over, and I could hear them on the bed together, making all these awful noises. He even told her that she was more attractive than I was. I felt like I was suffocating, crying uncontrollably, and when he finally let me out, I was numb. A part of me finally realized that this wasn't love. But instead of leaving him right then, I stayed quiet and acted like everything was okay because I couldn't imagine anyone else ever calling me beautiful like he did. After that, he told me I couldn't leave the house unless it was for work, and I was too afraid to argue. My days became a routine of cleaning, cooking, and mindlessly scrolling through my phone. It wasn't the life I imagined, but I didn't know how to change it. And then, one day, while doom scrolling, I stumbled upon a video by a woman named the Wizard Liz. She talked about self-worth, being with a partner who treats you like a queen, and most importantly, she said, stop wondering why they treat you like that and start asking yourself why you keep allowing it. Her words hit me hard. I knew I didn't deserve the way he treated me, but I kept letting it happen. It wasn't even worth it that he called me pretty when he was saying the same things to other women behind my back. I didn't love myself yet, but I finally realized he didn't love me either. So, the next day, I ended things through a text and drove straight to my parents' house to be safe. At first, he flooded my phone with calls and messages, saying things like, "No one else will ever love you, and you're nothing without me." But I blocked him because I no longer cared. Standing up for myself changed everything. I decided to focus on improving myself because Liz said that the best investment is always in yourself. I got a haircut, dyed my hair, and started working out. I wanted to feel in control of my own body again, and those things helped. I also wanted to improve my skin, but I didn't know where to start. I went online to find a routine, but it turns out skincare isn't one size fits all. We all need products that suit our unique needs, so I began looking for a personalized routine. I was hesitant at first, but then my ex texted me again, saying no one would ever find me attractive. That was the push I needed to take the leap. I was determined to use only natural products, and after hours of research, I found a bamboo-based skincare quiz. I filled out the 3-minute quiz, and it recommended a set of 6 products made with ingredients like rosemary oil. Ironically, I used a gift card my ex had given me for not leaving the house to buy a 3-month supply and get rid of anything that reminded me of him. When my bamboo skincare products arrived, I used everything from the rosewater cleanser to an exfoliant, not knowing how much of a difference it would make. After a week, I noticed my acne was clearing up faster than anything I'd tried before, and I began to see a glimpse of my own beauty. I cried so hard when I realized that, after years of being told I was unattractive, I could finally see a way forward. I stopped caring about others' opinions and kept using the bamboo products. Soon, my dark circles started to fade, to the point where a little makeup could actually cover them. I even joined a group for women who had overcome toxic relationships. They were impressed with my gym routine and amazed at the transformation in my skin, and some even tried the same skincare products with similar results. The more confident I became, the more I saw all the red flags I had ignored with my ex. Months later, he found me again. By then, my skin was clear, my body was toned, and my hair framed my face perfectly. When he saw me, he said I looked stunning and that he regretted everything. I slapped him when he tried to get back together, but he kept pleading, even getting down on his knees. He pulled out a crumpled receipt, claiming it was proof he'd already put a down payment on an engagement ring. He said he hadn't stopped thinking about me and that he couldn't live without me. But as I looked at him, begging like a lost puppy, I told him that I was fine with never seeing him again. I couldn't believe I said it because just a few months earlier, I would have waited forever for him to love me the way I loved him. But I wasn't that person anymore. I had spent those months learning to love myself in ways that only I could.